I'm staring at my scar in the bathroom mirror when my sister calls to tell me I'm not invited to her wedding. Yesenia, we need to talk, Sasha says, her voice that fake sweet tone she uses when she's about to drop a bomb. My name is Yesenia, and 8 months ago, I gave my little sister one of my kidneys to save her life. Today, she's calling to uninvite me from her wedding because apparently my scar is disgusting and I'm an embarrassment. But let me back up. The scar runs about 6 inches across my left side, a pale pink line that's still tender to the touch. It's not pretty, I'll give you that. But it's also the reason Sasha is alive to have this conversation. What do you mean we need to talk? I ask, though something in my stomach is already twisting. About the wedding, about your situation. My situation, like my kidney donation, is some kind of embarrassing medical condition instead of the reason she's not on dialysis 3 times a week. Sasha, what are you talking about? She takes a deep breath, and I can practically hear her rehearsing this speech in her head. Look, Yesenia, you know how grateful I am for what you did. We all are. But this wedding, it's really important to Emerson's family. His mother runs this huge charity foundation, and there's going to be photographers everywhere and I just think it would be better if you didn't come. The words hit me like a physical blow. I actually have to sit down on the edge of my bathtub. You're uninviting me from your wedding. It's not personal. It's just your scar is really noticeable, and with all the photos and everything, I don't want people asking questions or making it about your medical stuff instead of about me and Emerson. I'm quiet for so long that she actually says, "Hello, are you there?" I'm here. My voice sounds strange, even to me. I'm just trying to process the fact that my little sister, whose life I literally saved, is telling me I'm too ugly to attend her wedding. Don't be dramatic. I never said you were ugly. You said my scar was disgusting. I said it was noticeable. There's a difference. There really isn't, but I don't have the energy to argue semantics with someone who's clearly made up her mind. Sasha, do you remember when you were in the hospital? When they told you that without a transplant you had maybe 6 months? Of course, I remember. Do you remember what you said to me when I told you I was a match? Silence. You cried and said I was your hero. You said you'd never be able to repay me, but you'd spend the rest of your life trying. Yesenia, that's not fair. What's not fair is that I'm having this conversation at all. I can hear her getting defensive now, her voice rising the way it always does when she knows she's wrong, but won't admit it. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. Emerson's family is incredibly wealthy, and his mother is famous for her charity work. She's written books about altruism and organ donation. If she finds out about your kidney thing, she'll want to make it this whole big story. And I just want my wedding to be about me and Emerson, not about your medical drama. My medical drama, I repeat the word slowly. Is that what we're calling it now? You know what I mean? No, Sasha, I really don't. Because 8 months ago, when you were dying, it wasn't medical drama. It was me lying on an operating table for 4 hours so they could cut me open and give you a piece of my body to keep you alive. And I'm grateful, but that doesn't mean I have to center my entire wedding around it. I'm not asking you to center your wedding around it. I'm asking you to let me attend my own sister's wedding. It's complicated. It's really not. I hear voices in the background, and then Sasha's voice gets muffled like she's covering the phone. Who's there? I ask. Mom and Dad came over to help with wedding planning. Of course they did. And of course they're probably nodding along with every word she's saying. Put Mom on the phone. Yesenia, I don't think... Put her on the phone, Sasha. There's some shuffling, and then my mother's voice comes through, carefully neutral. Hi, sweetheart. Mum, are you seriously okay with this? A pause that tells me everything I need to know. We just want what's best for everyone, Yesenia. This is Sasha's special day. And there it is. The moment I realised that saving my sister's life has somehow made me the villain in this story. Mum, I gave Sasha my kidney. I literally gave her a piece of my body to save her life. We know, sweetheart, and we're so grateful. Then why are you letting her ban me from her wedding? Another pause. I can practically hear the three of them exchanging looks. It's not a ban, Yesenia, it's just, maybe it would be better if you took some time for yourself. Focus on your recovery. I recovered 6 months ago. Emotionally, I mean. This whole experience has been traumatic for everyone. I actually laugh out loud at that. Traumatic for everyone? Mum, I'm the one with the scar. I'm the one who went through surgery. I'm the one who... And we appreciate that sacrifice. My dad's voice cuts in. He must have taken the phone. Which is why we want to make sure you're compensated appropriately. Compensated? We've been talking, and we think it would be fair to give you some money for your medical expenses, your time off work, everything you've been through. I'm so stunned I can't speak for a moment. You want to pay me to stay away from Sasha's wedding? We want to show our appreciation for your sacrifice, while also respecting Sasha's wishes for her special day. How much? Excuse me? How much money are you offering me to pretend I don't exist? Yesenia, don't be like that. No, I'm curious. What's the going rate for a kidney and a lifetime of family shame? 5,000? 10? Silence. 20,000, my dad finally says quietly. I have to sit down again. $20,000. That's more money than I've ever had at one time in my life. Let me get this straight. You want to give me $20,000 to stay away from my own sister's wedding because my scar might ruin her photos. It's not about the scar. Sasha's voice comes through. She must be listening on speaker. It's about the questions. If people see it, they'll ask about it, and then the whole story comes out, and suddenly my wedding becomes about your kidney donation instead of about me and Emerson. God forbid anyone finds out that your sister saved your life. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean, Sasha? Because from where I'm sitting, it sounds like you're ashamed of me. I'm not ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of the situation. I am the situation. No, you're not. You're my sister, and I love you. But this wedding is the most important day of my life, and I can't have anything go wrong. Anything like me. Anything like drama and questions and people making it about something other than my marriage. I walk to my laptop and open Facebook. Sasha's profile is public, and I scroll through her recent posts. Engagement photos, wedding planning updates, dress shopping pictures. Not a single mention of being sick. Not one word about the transplant. It's like the last 2 years of her life just disappeared. Sasha, I'm looking at your Facebook right now. What? Why? You've deleted everything. Every post about being sick, every photo from the hospital, every thank you message about the donation. It's all gone. I just wanted a fresh start. A fresh start that doesn't include me. That's not... Mum, are you seeing this? Your daughter has literally erased me from her life story. My mum's voice comes back on, careful and measured. Yesenia, we understand you're upset, but you have to understand Sasha's position. She's marrying into a very prominent family. Emerson's mother runs a foundation. She's written books. She's very well respected in society. Sasha needs to make a good impression. And having a sister who donated a kidney makes a bad impression? Having a sister with visible surgical scars at a high-profile wedding might raise questions that Sasha isn't ready to answer. Questions like what? Like how her sister saved her life? Questions about medical procedures and family drama and things that should stay private. I'm pacing now, my free hand clenched into a fist. So let me make sure I understand this correctly. You want me to take $20,000, stay away from the wedding, and keep quiet about the fact that I donated my kidney to Sasha. We want you to respect Sasha's privacy and her wishes for her wedding day. And if I don't? The silence stretches so long, I wonder if they've hung up. Yes, Anaya, my dad finally says. We're hoping it won't come to that. Come to what? Come to you making this difficult for everyone. I hang up. My hands are shaking as I call my best friend Tiffany. They offered me money, I say as soon as she picks up. What kind of money? $20,000 to stay away from Sasha's wedding and keep my mouth shut about the kidney donation. Holy shit. Yeah. Are you going to take it? I look at myself in the mirror again, at the scar that saved my sister's life and apparently ruined her wedding. I don't know. Don't take the money, Tiffany says immediately. Yesenia, please tell me you're not actually considering taking their blood money. It's $20,000, Tiff. That's more than I make in 6 months. It's hush money. They're literally paying you to disappear. I'm sitting on my couch now, staring at the stack of medical bills on my coffee table. Even with insurance, the kidney donation cost me almost $3,000 out of pocket. Money I'm still paying off. Maybe disappearing isn't the worst thing. Maybe I should just take the money and move on. Move on to what? A life where your own family pretends you don't exist? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Hi, Yesenia. This is Emerson. I got your number from Sasha's phone. Can we talk? I show Tiffany the message. Oh, shit. He doesn't know, does he? Apparently not. I'm about to text back when my phone rings. It's my dad. Don't answer that, Tiffany says. I answer it anyway. Yesenia, we need you to not contact Emerson. I haven't contacted him. He contacted me. Well, don't respond. Sasha is handling the situation. What situation? The situation where her fiancé doesn't know his bride-to-be is only alive because of her sister's kidney. The situation where you're trying to cause problems for your sister's engagement. I'm not trying to cause problems. I'm trying to understand why I'm being erased from my own family. You're not being erased. You're being asked to be discreet. There's a difference? Yes, there is. And if you can't see that, then maybe you need to think about whether you really want what's best for Sasha. He hangs up before I can respond. They're panicking, Tiffany says. Good. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Emerson. I'm outside your apartment building. Can I come up? Tiffany's eyes go wide. He's here? I look out my window and see a black BMW parked on the street. A tall guy in an expensive-looking jacket is leaning against it, looking up at my building. Yeah, he's here. This is perfect. Tell him everything. Tiff, I can't. If I tell him, it'll destroy Sasha's engagement. So, she's trying to destroy your relationship with your entire family. I buzz him up before I can change my mind. 3 minutes later, there's a knock on my door. I open it to find a guy who looks like he stepped out of a magazine ad for luxury cars. Tall, perfectly styled hair, clothes that probably cost more than my rent. Yes, Anaya, I'm Emerson. I know who you are. He looks nervous, which is weird because guys who look like him are usually confident about everything. Can I come in? I think we need to talk. I step aside and let him in. Tiffany waves from the couch. This is my friend Tiffany. Hi, he says, then turns back to me. Look, I'm going to be direct. Sasha told me you two had some kind of falling out, and that's why you're not coming to the wedding. But she won't tell me what it's about, and your parents keep changing the subject whenever I ask. What did she tell you exactly? That you've been going through a difficult time and that you decided it would be better if you didn't attend. Something about needing space to work through personal issues. I actually snort. Personal issues. That's not what happened, is it? Tiffany is making encouraging gestures behind his back, but I can't do it. I can't be the one to blow up his engagement. Emerson, maybe you should ask Sasha these questions. I did ask Sasha. She said it was complicated family stuff and that I wouldn't understand. Maybe she's right. He sits down on my couch without being invited, which is bold, but somehow doesn't feel rude. Try me? Why do you care? You barely know me. Because the woman I'm supposed to marry in 3 weeks is lying to me about something, and I can tell it's something big. And because every time your name comes up, everyone in your family gets this weird look on their faces. What kind of look? Guilty, like they're hiding something they're ashamed of. Tiffany clears her throat. Maybe I should go. No, stay, Emerson says quickly. Actually, maybe you can help me understand what's going on here. Tiffany looks at me, eyebrows raised. Tiff, don't. Don't what? Emerson asks. Don't tell him about the kidney, I say before I can stop myself. The room goes completely silent. Emerson stares at me. What kidney? I close my eyes. Shit. Yesenia, what kidney? I open my eyes and look at him. He's leaning forward now, his whole body tense. The kidney I gave to Sasha 8 months ago to save her life. His face goes completely white. You gave Sasha a kidney? Yeah, and she didn't tell me. Apparently not. He stands up and starts pacing, running his hands through his hair. She told me she had food poisoning last year. That's why she was in the hospital. She had kidney failure. And you donated your kidney to her. Yes. He stops pacing and looks at me. And now she's uninvited you from the wedding because my scar is disgusting and I'm an embarrassment. Emerson sits back down heavily, like someone just punched him in the stomach. She said your scar was disgusting. Her exact words were that it was disgusting, and that I was an embarrassment who would ruin her wedding photos. Jesus Christ. He puts his head in his hands. My mother is going to lose her mind. Your mother? She runs a foundation for organ donation awareness. She's written 3 books about the importance of living donors. She gives speeches about people like you. Tiffany and I exchange looks. People like me? Heroes. That's what she calls living donors. Heroes who sacrifice their own bodies to save strangers. He looks up at me. You didn't save a stranger. You saved your sister. Yeah, well, apparently that doesn't count for much. Emerson stands up and starts pacing again. I have to go talk to Sasha. Emerson, wait, I say. Before you do anything, you should know that my parents offered me $20,000 to stay away from the wedding and keep quiet about the donation. He stops dead. They what? They want to pay me to disappear so I don't embarrass Sasha in front of your family. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. He pulls out his phone. I'm calling her right now. Don't. Why not? Because if you confront her about this, she'll know I told you, and then my entire family will cut me off completely. They're already cutting you off, but there's still a chance they'll come to their senses. If you blow this up now, there's no going back. Emerson stares at me like I'm speaking a foreign language. Yesenia, they offered you money to pretend you don't exist. There's already no going back. Tiffany nods. He's right. They've already shown you exactly who they are. But she's my sister. She's also a liar who's been deceiving her fiancé for months, Emerson says. What else hasn't she told me? My phone buzzes. It's a text from Sasha. Did you talk to Emerson? Dad said he was asking questions. Please don't make this harder than it has to be. I show them the message. She knows he was here, Tiffany says. They're probably tracking his car or something, I mutter. Emerson's phone starts ringing. He looks at the screen. It's Sasha. Don't answer it. I have to. If I don't, She'll know something's wrong. He answers the phone. Hey, babe. I can hear Sasha's voice through the speaker, high and anxious. Where are you? Your mum called looking for you. I'm just running some errands. Why? She wants to have dinner tonight to go over the final guest list. Can you be home by 6? Yeah, sure. Is everything okay? You sound stressed. I'm fine. Just wedding stuff, you know. I'll see you at home. She hangs up. She's definitely panicking, Tiffany observes. Emerson looks at his phone, then at me. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Okay. Is there anything else about Sasha that I should know? Anything else she's lied about or hidden from me? I think about it. Really think about it. She's not a bad person, Emerson. She's just scared. She's always been insecure about not being good enough. And now she's marrying into this wealthy, accomplished family, and she's terrified of not measuring up. That doesn't excuse lying to me. No, it doesn't, but it explains it. He nods slowly. What are you going to do about the money? I don't know. Don't take it, he says firmly. Whatever you do, don't take their money. Why not? Because once you take it, you become complicit in the lie. You become part of the cover-up. Tiffany pulls out her phone and starts typing. What are you doing? I ask. Looking up your future mother-in-law, she says to Emerson. Rosalie Williams, right? Yeah, why? Just curious about this foundation of hers. She shows us her phone screen. It's a website for something called the Williams Foundation, for altruism and organ donation. There's a photo of an elegant woman in her 60s, with silver hair and kind eyes. She's pretty, I say. She's also hosting a gala next month, Tiffany says, scrolling through the site. Look at this. She shows us an event page. Annual gala, celebrating extraordinary acts of living donation, honouring the heroes who give the gift of life. Emerson goes pale again. Oh, shit. What? She's been planning this gala for months. She keeps talking about it. She wants to highlight stories of living donors who've made incredible sacrifices. Stories like mine, I say quietly, exactly like yours. Tiffany grins. This is perfect. What's perfect? I ask. You should go to the gala? Tiff, I can't just show up to some fancy charity event. Why not? You're exactly the kind of person they're trying to honour. Emerson is staring at the website. Actually, she's right. My mum would love to meet you. She'd probably want to feature your story. But that would destroy Sasha's wedding. Sasha is destroying her own wedding by lying to everyone. My phone buzzes again. Another text from my dad. Have you thought about our offer? We need an answer soon. I show them the message. They're getting desperate, Tiffany says. Good, Emerson says. Let them sweat. He stands up and heads for the door. I have to go. But Yesenia, promise me you won't take their money. I promise. And think about the gala. I think my mum would really like to meet you. After he leaves, Tiffany turns to me with a huge grin. We're going to that gala. We? Oh, hell yes. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I'm not going to some fancy gala, Tiff. I don't even own a dress nice enough for something like that. Then we'll get you one. Come on, this is perfect revenge. I don't want revenge. I just want my family back. Tiffany gives me a look that says she thinks I'm being naive, but before she can argue, my phone rings. It's an unknown number with a local area code. Hello? Is this Yesenia? The voice is older, refined, with just a hint of a southern accent. Yes. Who is this? This is Rosalie Williams. I believe you know my son Emerson. My heart stops. Tiffany's eyes go wide. Mrs. Williams? Hi. I hope you don't mind me calling. Emerson gave me your number. He said you might be interested in speaking with someone about your experience as a living donor. I look at Tiffany, who's making frantic hand gestures. My experience? Yes, dear. Emerson told me you donated a kidney to your sister. I run a foundation that supports living donors, and I'm always looking to connect with people who've been through that journey. He told you about the donation? He did. He seemed quite moved by your story. He said you might benefit from talking to someone who understands the unique challenges that living donors face. I'm quiet for so long that she continues. I hope I'm not overstepping. It's just that, in my work, I've found that many living donors struggle with feeling unappreciated or misunderstood by their families after the surgery. The physical recovery is one thing, but the emotional recovery can be much more complicated. That's actually very accurate. Would you be willing to meet for coffee? I'd love to hear your story, and perhaps I can offer some perspective from others who've been in similar situations. Tiffany is nodding so vigorously, I'm worried she's going to hurt her neck. Yes, I think I'd like that. Wonderful. Are you free tomorrow afternoon? There's a lovely little cafe called Magnolia's on 5th Street. I know the place. What time? Shall we say 2 o'clock? That works. Perfect. I'll see you then, dear. She hangs up and I stare at my phone. Holy shit, Tiffany whispers. She called you. Emerson must have told her everything. This is it, Yesenia. This is your chance. My chance for what? To tell your story to someone who actually matters, someone who has influence and power and can make sure people know what really happened. My phone buzzes with a text from Sasha. Mum said you haven't given them an answer about the money. Please just take it and let us move on. Then another text immediately after. I know Emerson came to see you. Whatever you told him, please don't make this worse than it already is. I show Tiffany the messages. She's scared. Good. She should be. But what if I'm making a mistake? What if I should just take the money and disappear like they want? Yesenia, listen to me. You saved your sister's life. You went through major surgery. You have a permanent scar. You're still paying off medical bills. And instead of being grateful, they're trying to pay you to pretend it never happened. That's not normal. That's not okay. My phone rings again. This time it's my mum. Hi, Mum. Yesenia, we need to talk. Can you come over for dinner tonight? Why? Because we're family and we need to work this out. Work what out? You've already made it clear where you stand. That's not fair. We're trying to find a solution that works for everyone. A solution that works for everyone except me. That's not true. The money we're offering you is generous. It's more than most people make in a year. I don't want your money, Mum. Then what do you want? I want to be invited to my sister's wedding. I want my family to be proud of what I did instead of ashamed of it. I want to not be treated like some dirty secret that needs to be hidden. We're not ashamed of you. Then why are you paying me to stay away? Silence. Mum? It's complicated, Yesenia. It's really not. Either you're proud of me or you're not. Either I'm welcome at family events or I'm not. Either I'm your daughter or I'm not. Of course you're our daughter. Then act like it. I hang up. Tiffany reaches over and squeezes my hand. You did the right thing. Did I? Because it doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm destroying my family. Your family destroyed itself when they chose Sasha's image over your sacrifice. My phone buzzes with another text. This one from my dad. Your mother is very upset. Please reconsider dinner tonight. We can work this out. Then another from Sasha. Please don't do anything stupid. I'm begging you. And finally, one from Emerson. How did the call with my mum go? She seemed really excited to meet you. I show Tiffany all 3 messages. "Look at that," she says. 3 different reactions to the same situation. Your parents are panicking, Sasha is desperate, and Emerson is supportive. Which one of those feels right to you? I know the answer, but I'm scared to admit it. The supportive one. Then trust that feeling. Go meet with Rosalie tomorrow. Tell her your story. Let her decide what to do with it. And if it ruins Sasha's engagement, then Sasha ruined her own engagement by lying to her fiancé for months. I look at Emerson's text again. She seemed really excited to meet you. Maybe it's time someone was excited about what I did instead of ashamed of it. I'm sitting in Magnolia's cafe at 1:55, wearing the nicest blouse I own and checking my phone every 30 seconds. At exactly 2 o'clock, a woman walks in who can only be Rosalie Williams. She's elegant in that effortless way that comes with money and confidence. Silver hair pulled back in a perfect chignon, wearing a cream-coloured blazer that probably costs more than my car payment, but her smile is warm and genuine as she spots me. "Yesenia?" "Yes, ma'am." "Please, call me Rosalie." She sits across from me and signals the waitress. "Thank you so much for meeting me." "Thank you for calling. I have to admit, I was surprised. Emerson spoke very highly of you. He said you were one of the most selfless people he'd ever met." The waitress comes over and Rosalie orders a latte. I stick with my coffee. "He's very kind. He's also very concerned about your situation." "My situation?" "The way your family has responded to your donation. He said they've been less than supportive." I take a sip of my coffee to buy time. "It's complicated. Family situations often are. But in my experience, there's usually a simple truth underneath all the complications." She's looking at me with these kind but piercing eyes, and I can tell she's the type of person who doesn't accept surface-level answers. The simple truth is that I gave my sister a kidney to save her life, and now she's ashamed of me. Ashamed of you for saving her life. Ashamed of my scar. She says it's disgusting and that I'll embarrass her at her wedding. Rosalie's expression doesn't change, but something shifts in her eyes. "Her wedding to my son." "Yes. And she's uninvited you because of your surgical scar. She says it will raise questions and make her wedding about my medical drama instead of about her marriage." Rosalie sets down her latte carefully. "Medical drama. That's what she called it. And your parents support this decision?" "They offered me $20,000 to stay away and keep quiet about the donation." Now, Rosalie's composure cracks slightly. "They offered you money to hide the fact that you saved your daughter's life. They said it was compensation for my sacrifice and that I should respect Sasha's privacy." "Her privacy?" "Yes." Rosalie is quiet for a long moment, and I can practically see her processing this information. "Yesenia, may I ask you something personal?" "Sure." "Do you regret donating your kidney?" "No, never. Even with everything that's happened, I'd do it again in a heartbeat." "Even knowing how your family would react?" "Even knowing how they'd react." She nods slowly. "That's what I thought you'd say. In my 20 years of working with living donors, I've found that the truly selfless ones never regret their decision, no matter how badly they're treated afterward." "You've seen this before?" "Unfortunately, yes. Families who are grateful in the moment, but become uncomfortable with the reminder of their loved one's mortality. People who want to move on and pretend the crisis never happened." "So, I'm not crazy for feeling hurt by this?" "You're not crazy at all. You're human, and you deserved better from your family." My phone buzzes. It's a text from Sasha. "Where are you? Mum said you didn't come to dinner last night and you're not answering their calls." I show Rosalie the message. "They're looking for you. They want an answer about the money." "What are you going to tell them?" "I don't know." Rosalie leans forward. "Yesenia, I want to share something with you." Next month, my foundation is hosting our annual gala. We honour living donors who've made extraordinary sacrifices. This year, we're specifically focusing on donors who face challenges or rejection from their families. Emerson mentioned the gala. Did he? Good. I'd like to invite you to attend as our guest of honour. I nearly choke on my coffee. Guest of honour? Your story is exactly what we're trying to highlight. The courage it takes to donate and the additional courage it takes to stand up for yourself when your family tries to erase your sacrifice. But if I do that, it'll destroy Sasha's engagement. Will it? Or will it simply force her to tell the truth? My phone buzzes again. This time it's my dad. We're coming over. We need to settle this today. Then another from my mum. Please don't make us do this the hard way. What does that mean? I ask, showing Rosalie the messages. It sounds like a threat. They're threatening me? It sounds like they're trying to intimidate you into taking their money. My phone rings. It's Sasha. I have to take this. Yesenia, where the hell are you? Sasha's voice is shrill with panic. I'm having coffee with a friend. What friend? Mom and Dad went to your apartment and you weren't there. I'm allowed to leave my apartment, Sasha, not when we're trying to have a family meeting to resolve this situation. There's nothing to resolve. You've made your position clear. My position is that I want what's best for everyone. No, your position is that you want what's best for you. That's not fair. You know what's not fair? Having surgery to save your sister's life and then being told you're too disgusting to attend her wedding. I never said you were disgusting. You said my scar was disgusting. Same thing. Rosalie is watching this conversation with interest. Yesenia, please, just come home so we can talk about this like adults. I am talking about it like an adult. I'm talking about it with someone who actually appreciates what living donors go through. Who are you with? I look at Rosalie, who nods encouragingly. I'm with Rosalie Williams. The silence on the other end of the phone is deafening. You're with Emerson's mother? Yes. What did you tell her? I told her the truth. Oh my God! Oh my God, Yesenia, what have you done? I've had coffee with a very nice woman who runs a foundation for people like me. People like you? Living donors who get treated like shit by their families. I hang up. Rosalie is smiling. I take it that was your sister. Yeah, she's probably having a panic attack right now. Good. Maybe it's time she faced some consequences for her actions. My phone starts ringing immediately. First Sasha, then my mum, then my dad. I decline all the calls. They're panicking, I tell Rosalie, as they should be. She finishes her latte and checks her watch. Yesenia, I have a proposition for you. Okay. I'd like you to come to dinner at our house tonight. Emerson will be there, and I think it's time we had an honest conversation about this situation. What about Sasha? What about her? Won't she be there too? I haven't invited her. This dinner is for family and people I trust. Right now, I'm not sure your sister qualifies as either. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This is River, Emerson's brother. Mom told me what's happening. We're all on your side. I show Rosalie the message. River doesn't usually get involved in family drama, she says. The fact that he's reaching out means he's genuinely upset about this. Your whole family knows. Emerson told us everything last night. About the kidney donation, about your family's reaction, about the money they offered you. Her voice gets harder. We don't take kindly to people who try to buy silence about acts of heroism. My phone rings again. This time, it's Emerson. I should probably take this. Yesenia, thank God. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm still with your mum. Good. Listen, Sasha and your parents just showed up at my apartment. They're demanding to know where you are. What did you tell them? I told them it was none of their business, but they're not leaving. Your dad is threatening to call the police and report you missing. I'm 28 years old. I can't be reported missing for having coffee. That's what I told them, but they're getting aggressive. Your mum is crying, Sasha is screaming, and your dad keeps saying they need to fix this situation before it gets out of hand. Rosalie takes the phone from me. Emerson, it's Mum. Bring them to the house. What? You heard me. Bring all 3 of them to the house. It's time we settled this once and for all. Mum, are you sure? I'm sure. And Emerson, record the conversation on your phone. I have a feeling we're going to want documentation of what happens next. She hands the phone back to me. Rosalie, I don't think this is a good idea. Why not? Because it's going to be a disaster. My family is going to say terrible things, and your son is going to see exactly how toxic we are. Emerson already knows how toxic they are. The question is whether he's going to marry into it anyway. We drive to the Williams house in separate cars. Their place is exactly what I expected. A massive colonial with a circular driveway and perfectly manicured gardens. I feel completely out of place pulling up in my 10-year-old Honda. Rosalie meets me at the front door. Are you ready for this? No. Good. The best confrontations happen when people aren't ready for them. We walk into a living room that's bigger than my entire apartment. Emerson is sitting on a leather couch that probably costs more than my car. My parents and Sasha are huddled together on the opposite couch, looking like they're facing a firing squad. River is leaning against the fireplace, arms crossed, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Yesenia! My mom jumps up like she's going to hug me, but I step back. Mom, we've been so worried about you. No, you haven't. You've been worried about your secret getting out. That's not fair, my dad says. We're trying to protect the family. Which family? Rosalie asks, settling into an armchair like she's hosting a tea party. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're protecting one daughter at the expense of the other. Mrs. Williams, Sasha starts, but Rosalie holds up a hand. I'll get to you in a moment, dear. First, I'd like to hear from your parents. She looks at my mum and dad. I understand you offered my future daughter-in-law's sister money to stay away from the wedding. It's not like that, my mum says quickly. We just thought it would be better for everyone if the person who saved your daughter's life disappeared so you wouldn't have to acknowledge her sacrifice. We're very grateful for what Yesenia did, my dad says. Are you? Because offering someone money to hide their heroic act doesn't seem very grateful to me. Sasha finally speaks up. Mrs. Williams, you don't understand. This is a family matter. It became my matter when you lied to my son for months about why you were in the hospital. I didn't lie. I just didn't think it was relevant. You didn't think it was relevant that your sister donated a kidney to save your life? It's not that simple. Actually, it is that simple. Rosalie turns to Emerson. Show them the video. What video? Sasha asks, her voice getting higher. Emerson pulls out his phone and starts playing a recording. It's Sasha's voice from yesterday. Your scar is disgusting and you're an embarrassment. I can't have you ruin my photos. This is my day and I won't let your medical drama overshadow my wedding. The room goes completely silent. Did you really say that to your sister? Rosalie asks quietly. Sasha's face is bright red. That's taken out of context. What context makes calling your sister disgusting acceptable? I was stressed. Planning a wedding is incredibly stressful, and I just wanted everything to be perfect. Perfect enough to erase the person who saved your life. I wasn't trying to erase her. Then what were you trying to do? Sasha looks around the room desperately, but no one is coming to her rescue. I was trying to protect my future. Your future with my son. Yes. Rosalie nods slowly. I see. And you thought the best way to protect that future was to lie to him and abuse your sister. I didn't abuse anyone. You called her disgusting and offered her money to disappear. What would you call that? Sasha starts crying, but they're angry tears, not sad ones. This isn't fair, you're all ganging up on me. No, I say quietly. This is what accountability looks like. Sasha wipes her eyes and looks directly at me. Fine. You want accountability? Here it is. Yes, I said those things. Yes, I didn't want you at my wedding. And yes, I'm ashamed of your scar because it reminds everyone that I was sick and weak and almost died. The honesty is so brutal that everyone in the room goes quiet. There, are you happy now? I said it out loud. Actually, yes, I say. I am happy because for the first time in 8 months, you're telling the truth. The truth is that I hate being the sick sister. I hate that people look at me with pity. I hate that my entire identity became about kidney failure and transplants and medical procedures. When I met Emerson, I finally had a chance to be someone else. Someone healthy and normal and worthy of a man like him. And you thought erasing me would make you more worthy. I thought moving on from the whole medical nightmare would make me more worthy. Rosalie leans forward. Sasha, may I ask you something? I guess. Do you think Emerson would love you less if he knew you'd been sick? I don't know. Maybe. Emerson stands up. Then you don't know me at all. Emerson, please. No, Sasha. You've been lying to me for months because you thought I was so shallow that I'd reject you for having a medical condition. What does that say about what you think of me? It says I was scared of losing you. And what about what you did to Yesenia? What does that say about who you are? Sasha looks around the room again, but this time she seems to really see the faces staring back at her. Her parents look ashamed. River looks disgusted. Rosalie looks disappointed. Emerson looks heartbroken. It says I'm selfish, she whispers. Yeah, I say, it does. So what happens now? My dad asks. Do we all just pretend this conversation never happened? No, Rosalie says firmly. We don't pretend anything. Emerson, what do you want to do? Emerson looks at Sasha for a long moment. I want to postpone the wedding. What? Sasha jumps up. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. I can't marry someone who lies to me and treats their family like garbage. I need time to figure out if this is who you really are, or if this is who you become when you're scared. And if I can't change, if this is who I really am, then we're not right for each other. My mum starts crying for real now. This is all your fault, Yesenia. You've ruined everything. No, Rosalie says sharply. Yesenia didn't ruin anything. She saved her sister's life and then told the truth when her family tried to erase her for it. If that ruined something, then it deserved to be ruined. So, what do you want from us? My dad asks. An apology. I want you to stop trying to buy my silence, I say. I want you to stop treating me like I'm something to be ashamed of, and I want you to acknowledge that what I did mattered. Of course it mattered, my mum says. Then act like it. Sasha sits back down heavily. What if I can't? What if I can't stop being ashamed? Then that's your problem to work on, I tell her. But it's not my problem to hide from anymore. Rosalie stands up. I think we've said everything that needs to be said. Emerson, why don't you take some time to think about what you want to do? Sasha, I suggest you do the same. What about the wedding? Sasha asks. What about it? All the deposits, the venue, the guests. Those are details. The real question is whether you want to marry my son badly enough to become the kind of person who deserves him. After everyone leaves, I'm sitting in Rosalie's kitchen while she makes tea. How do you feel? She asks. Exhausted? Relieved? Scared? Scared of what? That I just destroyed my family for good. Yes, Nia, your family destroyed itself when they chose image over integrity. You just refused to be complicit in the destruction. So, what happens now? Now you get to decide who you want to be. Do you want to be the person who hides in the shadows to make other people comfortable? Or do you want to be the person who stands in the light and owns her story? I want to stand in the light. Good. Because I still want you to be the guest of honor at our gala. Even if it means Sasha and Emerson don't get back together? Especially if it means that my son deserves someone who's proud to be with him, not someone who's ashamed of her own story. 2 weeks later, I'm standing on a stage in front of 300 people, wearing a beautiful dress that Rosalie bought for me, telling my story to a room full of strangers who are hanging on every word. Living donation isn't just about the surgery, I say into the microphone. It's about what happens after. It's about whether the people you love honor your sacrifice or try to hide it. It's about whether you let them hide it or whether you stand up and say, this matters, what I did matters, and I matter. The applause is thunderous. In the audience, I can see Tiffany wiping away tears. Rosalie is beaming with pride. Emerson is there too, alone, clapping harder than anyone. Sasha isn't there. Neither are my parents. But for the first time in 8 months, I'm okay with that. After my speech, a woman approaches me. She's about my age, with a scar on her neck. I gave my brother part of my liver, she says. He hasn't spoken to me since the surgery because he says it makes him feel guilty. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Be proud, because watching you up there just gave me the courage to stop apologizing for saving his life. She walks away, and I realize this is what Rosalie meant about standing in the light. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Sasha. I watched your speech online. You were amazing. I'm sorry for everything. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I'm going to try to become someone who does. I don't text back right away. Maybe I will eventually, maybe I won't. But for the first time since this whole thing started, that's my choice to make. And that feels like victory enough.
Hey there, I'm Sheila, and I guess you could say I'm living the suburban dream. I've been married to my amazing husband, Chris, for 4 years now, and it's been quite an adventure. We met in college, both studying business, and there was just something about his smile and easygoing personality that drew me in. From the beginning, we were inseparable, staying up late to study, laughing at inside jokes, and planning our future together. Fast forward a few years and we got married, promising to stick by each other through thick and thin. The whole for better or worse thing seemed easy at the time, but little did I know our journey was about to take a challenging turn, thanks to my mother-in-law. Chris and his mom, Martha, have always been super close, which sometimes felt a bit much to me. Martha raised him almost entirely on her own after her divorce, and it seemed like she was determined to keep him under her wing, even after he moved out. I heard stories about how she used to match outfits with him and always stayed close while he played with his friends. Martha had this habit of planning Chris' life down to the minute, almost like she was the one in charge. Even when he went off to college, her clinginess didn't stop. She'd call him several times a day to check on his schedule and even visited him twice a week. This really affected Chris. He's a great guy, but you could tell he felt the pressure of meeting her expectations. When Chris introduced me to Martha for the first time at dinner, I could feel her sizing me up, analyzing every detail. Sheila, it's so lovely to finally meet you. Chris talks about you all the time, she said. Thank you, Martha, it's great to meet you too, I replied. Oh, I'm sure it is. Chris has a way of surprising us with his choices, she added, with a hint of something I couldn't quite place. Then she asked what I do for a living, and when I told her I work in marketing, she wasn't all that interested. Instead, she started talking about Chris's ex-girlfriends, like Lily, an artsy girl who was always lost in her own world, and another girl who was a musical talent, but too free-spirited for Martha's taste. Mom, you're embarrassing me, Chris said, trying to change the subject. No matter who comes into Chris' life, I'll always be the first woman he loves, Martha said with a smile. From the start, it felt like everything I said or did was being compared to what Martha thought was best. If I mentioned a movie I liked, she'd say Chris didn't enjoy that genre. If I talked about a place I wanted to visit, she'd point out that Chris had already been there with her. It felt like she was trying to prove she knew Chris better than anyone, and I was just trying to keep up. Things got even crazier when Martha's kitchen caught fire, turning her house into a mess. She needed a place to stay while it was being fixed, so of course she moved in with us. And the day she arrived, she handed me a 14-page rulebook. Yes, you heard that right, a rulebook. I'm really sorry about the fire at your place. That must have been tough. You're welcome to stay here as long as you need. Let me grab those bags for you. Martha. Thanks, Sheila. The fire was a nightmare and really shook things up. But before we all get settled, there's something I want to give you. Sheila. Oh, all right. What is it? Martha. It's my little creation. A guide to keeping peace around the house. Sheila. A guide? Okay, that's interesting. Martha. You got it. It's just my way of keeping things on track while I'm staying here. Sheila. What's with all these rules? We don't need a rule book to function as adults, do we? Martha. Oh, Sheila, I get it. But having a few ground rules can prevent unnecessary drama, you know? And breaking them might have some consequences. Sheila. Consequences. Are we running a boot camp here? Martha. Stop complaining. Now let's tackle those bags, and I'm curious to see where you've set me up. After I showed Martha her room and returned to mine, I couldn't resist flipping through her rulebook. Each page was filled with bizarre instructions like vacuuming the living room precisely at 8:30 a.m., serving dinner at 6:45 p.m., and my personal favorite, washing the bathroom tiles with lemon-scented cleaner every other day. I was shocked. What kind of controlling behavior was this? When Chris got back from work, I showed him the rulebook. Before bed, we both started laughing at how ridiculous it was. It felt like we'd stepped into another world where everything was super organized. Chris. Okay, this one takes the cake. Arrange the spice jars in alphabetical order. I guess our spices are getting a degree in linguistics. Sheila. And don't forget Gourmet Tuesdays, where I apparently have to whip up a 5-course meal from scratch. That's one way to turn our kitchen into a Michelin-star restaurant. Chris. You know, honey, my mom means well, but she needs to realize that I'm grown up now. This is our house, not hers. We have our own way of doing things. Sheila. You're right. So promise me you won't take this rulebook too seriously. It's just her way of showing she cares, even if it's a bit eccentric. Chris. Deal. No alphabetized spices or gourmet extravaganzas in our future, I promise. The next morning, I woke up to find Chris already dressed and ready for work. He kissed me goodbye, and I noticed Martha's rulebook still sitting on my bedside table. It was around 8:00 a.m., and according to the book, I was supposed to vacuum the living room by 8:30 a.m. Yeah, right. I took a shower, got dressed, grabbed a granola bar, and left for work before Martha could catch me. When I walked in after a tough day at the office, hoping to relax on the couch, I was met with chaos. Chris and Martha were in the middle of a heated argument in the living room. Martha was clearly upset. Martha. Chris, I'm really struggling to understand why Sheila can't seem to respect the rules I've set in this house. Did you notice she just left for work this morning without doing any of the chores? Chris. Mom, we've talked about this. The house is turning into chaos, and it's all about maintaining order, right? But I've grown out of those rules. Martha, rules are how I raised you, and they're still important. You think you know him better, Sheila? Because I distinctly remember him asking for pancakes every Sunday morning when he was a kid. Sheila. Martha, seriously? Who do you think you are? This is our house. Martha. This is my son's house, and it belongs to me as much as it belongs to you. Sheila. Excuse me, Chris? Chris. Mom. I need to come clean. This is Sheila's house. She owns it. Martha. What? How is that possible? Sheila. Martha. When Chris and I got married, my parents gifted me this house as a first anniversary present. It's under my name. Martha. Chris, you never told me that. Chris. I didn't want to complicate things, Mom. I let you believe the house was mine, and I'm really sorry, Mom. After Chris stormed off dramatically, I was left standing there, completely dumbfounded by what he'd just revealed. My mind was racing, trying to understand why he'd lie about something as big as our house. Chris had never lied to me before. He'd always been the sweetest, most genuine guy. I took a deep breath and headed to our bedroom, gently pushing the door open. There he was, Chris, looking like he was drowning in guilt. Sheila, hey, can we talk? Chris, yeah, I guess we should. Look, I'm not mad or anything. I just can't wrap my head around why you'd lie about the house, of all things. We've always been open and honest with each other. Chris, I know, honey. That's what's been eating me up. I should have just told you the truth from the start. Sheila. Okay, so what's the deal? Chris. It's my mom. She's always been on my case. Ever since I was a kid, she's had these expectations about who I should be and what I should achieve. It's like she wanted this perfect version of me. Sheila. And you thought lying about the house would… what? Impress her? Chris. No, not impress, more like avoid disappointing her. She's always been proud of being in control of things. I thought if she found out that you're the one who actually owns the house, it would shake things up. She'd be disappointed in me for not being the son she wants me to be. Sheila. Chris, you're your own person. You've always been kind, hardworking, and true to yourself. You're the man I fell in love with. Why does she get to define your worth? Hearing Chris's backstory with his toxic mother really hit me hard. Growing up with that kind of negativity had made him feel like he had to lie to his own mom. The whole situation was so unfair. Chris, the most laid-back and caring guy I knew, was carrying around this heavy baggage from his messed-up family. He deserved better. A childhood that didn't leave him feeling like he had to lie or prove himself. What really got to me was how toxic Martha could be. It made sense why she had no friends and had nowhere to go when her kitchen burned down. I was angry that she had this hold over Chris, making him feel like he had to lie to keep the peace. Her toxic presence was poisoning everything in our lives. The next day was seriously weird. I was getting ready for work, fully prepared for Martha to come at me with her usual chore checklist or some sarcastic comment. But to my surprise, she was completely silent. I left for work feeling a mix of relief and suspicion, wondering if this was the calm before the storm. When I came home after a long day, hoping to relax, I walked into a complete mess. The furniture was moved around, and the vases and plant pots from my beloved indoor garden were nowhere to be seen. Sheila, Martha, what have you done? Martha. Oh, Sheila, I just thought the room needed a bit of a change. Sheila, change? Martha, this is our home. You can't just come in and rearrange everything without even asking. Martha. Well, I thought it would be better this way, and those plants were taking up too much space. Sheila. You know what, Martha? I'm just tired. Tired of your constant need to control everything. I invited you into my home, gave you a space here, and what do? You find new ways to make my life miserable. Martha. Oh please, Sheila, spare me the drama. You're overreacting. They were just plants. When I stepped into my bedroom, I was shocked. My bed was against a new wall. The photo frames on the dresser were cramped, and my desk was in a spot that made no sense. I couldn't believe Martha thought she had the right to rearrange everything. I stormed into Martha's room, my frustration reaching a boiling point. Enough was enough. Sheila, Martha, seriously, what were you thinking? You had no right to go into my bedroom and rearrange things without asking. Martha, you're blowing this way out of proportion. Sheila. Martha, we need to talk. I've been trying to stay calm, but I can't hold back anymore. You've been treating me like some sort of intruder in my own home, and it's not okay. I get that you have your rules and your idea of how things should be, but being a mom doesn't give you a free pass to mess with our lives. Martha. Whoa, where's all this coming from? Sheila. It's been building up for months. Your critiques, your eye rolls, you act like you're the guru of life, especially when it comes to Chris. But guess what? Your way isn't the only way. Believe it or not, I've been guiding him too since his dad left, and I give you props for that. But that doesn't mean you're the boss of our lives. I've seen how your need for control is stressing Chris out. He's walking around like he's carrying a ton of bricks on his shoulders, worried that he's not living up to your expectations. I'm starting to see things clearly now. I notice when Chris hesitates to speak his mind around you, and I hear it when he tries to keep you happy no matter what. Chris is a grown man, and I'm not letting you control him anymore. You've just brought trouble on yourself, Sheila, by questioning me as a parent. You'll see soon. After that showdown with Martha, I was emotionally drained and completely exhausted. I told Chris everything that happened later that night, and I found comfort in his arms. He was like my shield against the emotional storm. He apologized to me and told me that his mom wasn't going to stay with us permanently and that she would be gone soon. Chris' "she'll be gone soon" comment started to make sense, so I didn't let it bother me much. But the next morning, while I was getting ready for work, Martha came up to me out of nowhere and apologized. She said she tried to relax and not interfere. Surprisingly, she stuck to it. Things were going pretty smoothly for a while. Martha seemed determined to be helpful, pitching in with chores and being all nice and cooperative. She even made dinner for Chris and me, and we actually sat down like a normal family to eat. It felt weird, but honestly, it was kind of nice. For a moment, Chris and I started thinking maybe she was turning a corner. But then, in about a week, everything took an unexpected turn. I came home one day after work, and Martha greeted me, asked how my day was, and handed me some homemade protein bars. It seemed like a nice gesture, so I took one and had a bite. I ended up eating the whole thing, but soon after I felt a weird lump in my throat, and my skin broke out in rashes. Panic set in. Did Martha put peanuts in these? I called out for her. You know I'm allergic to peanuts. What did you put in those bars, Martha? Oh my gosh, Sheila, I forgot about your allergy. I didn't mean to, I swear. Seriously, Martha. I could die. I rushed to my room to get my EpiPen, and Martha followed me. Where did I put that EpiPen? I need it now. Looking for something, Sheila? My EpiPen. You rearranged this room. Where did you put it? This isn't a game, Martha. My EpiPen is a matter of life and death. Well, we'll just have to find it, won't we? I could feel my body shutting down, like I was running on empty. My vision got blurry, and a sense of doom settled in. I knew things were seriously messed up. As I was trying not to black out, I heard Chris's voice cutting through the haze. He was on the phone, talking like his life depended on it. An ambulance arrived and the paramedics quickly got to work stabilizing me. The ride to the hospital was a blur, with sirens and beeping sounds all around. It felt like I was drifting in and out of a strange dream until I finally closed my eyes. When I woke up in the hospital, Chris was there, looking worn out but relieved. I was done with Martha's manipulation, her toxicity, and her complete disregard for anyone's well-being except her own. As soon as I was discharged, I had a serious heart-to-heart with Chris. He knew it was time to take a stand too. He had seen firsthand the damage his mother's actions could cause, and he was ready to set things right. A couple of days after I was discharged from the hospital, Chris and I went home. Mom, we need to talk. I don't know what Sheila told you, but it was all a mistake. Cut it out. You know what, Mom? I used to think I had a mother, someone who cared, someone who wanted the best for her family. But I was dead wrong. I didn't realize I had a monster for a mom, someone who's willing to manipulate just to satisfy her own twisted need for control. Chris, no honey. I need to get this out, Mom. You've torn this family apart with your toxic behavior. You've taken every opportunity to belittle and demean Sheila, someone who's done nothing but support and care for all of us. And what did she get in return? Neglect and her allergies triggered because you forgot? It's sickening. You nearly killed Sheila. Let that sink in. You almost killed your son's wife. Didn't you even think about me once? Chris, please, I never meant for things to go this far. I know I've made mistakes, and I'm so sorry for what happened to Sheila. Mom, listen carefully. You have two choices. You can leave on your own terms, or I'll make sure you're out of here. You can stay in a motel or wherever you want, but you're not staying here. This is where it ends, Mom. Our relationship, whatever was left of it, ends right here. I don't have a mother anymore, not in the way that matters. Honestly, I couldn't help but feel a twisted sense of satisfaction when Chris showed his mom the door. She loved him so much that it must have hurt like crazy to be rejected by her own son. But she deserved it after the protein bar situation. We've lost touch with Martha completely. No calls, no texts, no sign of where she went. It's like she vanished into thin air. and as much as I hoped she would grow and find her way, I can't help but wonder where she ended up. Despite all the drama, she's still Chris's mom, and that worry for her is still there. Chris ran into a couple of construction guys working on her house, and they told him she drops by sometimes to check on things, so I guess she's okay. Our home is no longer a battleground, and who knows if we'll ever get in touch with her again. For now, we're just trying to live in the moment. Hi, my name is Alex, and I'm a 30-year-old woman who's been through a lot recently. Even though some time has passed, it still feels like everything happened just yesterday. I wanted to talk about it with someone other than my family and friends, so here I am. Let me start from the beginning. I was born much later than my sister. She was 16 years old when I was born. Because of the big age gap, we never had a close sisterly bond, although she did spoil me a lot. It felt like she treated me more like her own child than her sister. By the time I was old enough to remember anything, my sister was already off to college. When I was 10 years old, I attended her wedding. She was already pregnant at the time, so I was excited not just for the wedding, but also to meet my niece and have another kid to play with. 5 months after the wedding, my niece Tori was born. I still clearly remember visiting her in the hospital right after she was born. I was so excited to see her little face and felt an overwhelming amount of love for her. After Tori came home, I spent as much time as possible with my sister to help take care of her. As the years went by, my love for Tori only grew. I would always offer to babysit whenever my sister needed help. Instead of thinking of each other as aunt and niece, Tori and I felt more like siblings. That's why it was so hard for both of us when I had to move to a different state, Florida, to study and work. But I made sure to always call home and stay in touch with my family, especially Tori. The distance didn't break our bond. In my last year of university, I met my husband, Caleb. He was the star football player, and I still don't know how I caught his attention since I wasn't into sports at all. I spent most of my time reading in the library, but one day Caleb found me there and started talking to me. What I loved most about him was how confident and charming he was. Later, after we were together for a while, he told me he was actually nervous to talk to me, but I never would have guessed that from how confidently he approached me. We went on several dates and quickly realized that even though we had different interests, we fit well together. We shared the same sense of humor and spent all our dates laughing until our bellies hurt. It didn't take long for us to make our relationship official. I always made it clear to Caleb how much I loved my family, so we met them through many video calls. The only person I didn't tell about Caleb was my niece Tori. Even though Caleb had met almost everyone important in my family, he hadn't met Tori yet. I did talk to him about her a lot though. One day, Caleb asked why he hadn't met my niece, even though I talked about her so much. I told him, "Babe, I haven't introduced you to Tori because she's just 11. I want to protect her innocence from my adult life." He replied, "I don't think 11 is too young. I'd like to meet her and be part of her life too. Tori is the most important person to me, but she's still a child. She doesn't need to be involved in my romantic life," I explained. "It feels like you're keeping me separate because you doubt our relationship's future," he said. "What? That's not true at all," I assured him. "You're afraid of introducing me to Tori in case things don't work out between us. You don't want to introduce her to someone who won't be a constant in her life," he continued. "You've got it all wrong. It's about protecting her, not doubting us," I said. "All right, fine, let's drop it. Just understand that I see a long future for us, but I'm just not ready to mix our worlds yet," I explained. I understood why Caleb was upset, but I wasn't ready to involve Tori in this part of my life yet. I wanted to protect Tori's innocence, even though deep down I knew I wasn't really doing that. In my mind, she was still that little baby I first met in the hospital, and I wanted to keep seeing her that way at least until she became a teenager. 2 years after we graduated from college, Caleb asked me to move in with him, and I happily agreed. I was thrilled to live with the man I was so deeply in love with. During this time, I also met all of Caleb's family. Caleb was still a little hurt that I hadn't told Tori about him yet, but he chose to let it go instead of bringing it up. I could tell he was still bothered by it because he would briefly mention it before dropping the subject. When Tori turned 13, I waited a couple of months before finally telling her about Caleb. We got on a video call one day while Caleb was out for a run. "Tori, I have something to share with you," I said. "What's up?" she replied. "I have a boyfriend." "Really? Oh my gosh, tell me everything," she exclaimed. "His name is Caleb. We met in college and have been together since my senior year." "Is he a good guy?" she asked. "He's the best. You'll love him," I assured her. "I can't wait to meet him then." "Well, actually, we were planning to come for Thanksgiving." "Wait, seriously? I've got bad timing, huh?" "What do you mean?" I asked, confused. "I got into that boarding high school I've been raving about for ages. I need to be there next month." "That's amazing, Tori. I'm so proud of you." "Yeah, but I won't be around for Thanksgiving." "Don't worry about it. I'm planning on marrying Caleb anyway, so you'll have plenty of time to meet him." "You're already planning weddings, huh? I love it," she said with a laugh. We spent the next half hour excitedly talking about Tori's new school. I learned that Tori would only have some time off, but now that Caleb and I were working, we couldn't just take off to go meet her. And when Tori was at school, she wasn't allowed to use electronics for long periods. Tori was fine with that because the school had so many extracurricular activities that would keep her busy and tire her out by the end of the day. I was excited for her to experience new things. When Caleb came back from his run, I told him about the call. Once again, he was disappointed that he missed meeting Tori, but he felt better knowing that I was ready to introduce him. He didn't mind waiting because he knew I wasn't purposely keeping him away from the most important person in my life. A couple of months later, while we were visiting my family for Thanksgiving, Caleb decided to propose to me. I couldn't have imagined a better time for him to do it. He knew how much I wanted my family to be there during my big moments. I said yes with the biggest smile on my face and tears streaming down my cheeks. We got married within the next year. Tori, of course, heard the news and sent a text congratulating me. Caleb and I spent the next year meticulously planning our wedding. We wanted everything to be perfect. Since Tori was still at school, there was no way for her to attend the wedding. I was crushed that she couldn't make it, but I knew her education was more important than an event like a wedding. Plus, Caleb comforted me by saying we could have a small ceremony after Tori graduates to replicate our wedding. The wedding was a grand affair. Everyone laughed and cried, and I felt like the luckiest girl alive. The love and support I received that day were beyond anything I could have imagined. I truly believed that the rest of my life would be blissful because I'd get to spend it with Caleb. And for the first year of our marriage, that was true. But then things started to go downhill. We both had stable 9-to-5 jobs, made good money, and lived comfortably. We were never really interested in having children, so that wasn't something we had to plan for. So it came as a surprise when one night while we were lying in bed, Caleb asked if he could start working overtime. "Babe, there's something I need to talk to you about," he said. "What's up?" I asked, a little concerned. "I've been thinking about taking up overtime at work," Caleb said one night as we lay in bed. "Overtime? Why the sudden interest?" I asked, surprised. "I've been aiming for a promotion for a while now, and the extra money could help us," he explained. "I love that you're passionate and ambitious, but we're already comfortable," I said. "I know, but I think we can do even better," he replied. "I love our time together, just relaxing after work and on weekends. It means a lot to me," I told him, hoping he'd understand. "I value that too, but I see the potential for more," he said. "It's not about potential, it's about quality of life. I want to enhance our quality of life through hard work," he insisted. "I respect your choices, but I'm not happy with this decision," I admitted. "I'm doing what's best for both of us," Caleb said, then turned over and turned out the light after wishing me good night. I was left awake with my thoughts, feeling upset that Caleb had made this decision without really discussing it with me. We didn't need the extra money. Both of us were able to save a good amount each month. We had made smart investments and had our retirement funds set up. We lived comfortably, so I didn't understand why he felt the need to work more. But I figured that if Caleb was happy, I would be happy too. The next few months were torture for me. Caleb started coming home late and was usually too tired to do anything. He'd eat dinner and go straight to bed. He even worked on Saturdays and spent Sundays sleeping. I barely saw him properly most days, and I missed spending time with my husband. I tried talking to him about cutting back on work, but he always brushed me off, saying it was for our benefit. Eventually, after 6 months of this, Caleb did get promoted. I thought this would mean he'd have more flexibility with his time. While he did get more flexibility, it came with constant business trips. Every other week, he was flying out of state. It got to the point where it felt like I wasn't living with my husband anymore, just a roommate I barely knew. I didn't know what to do. One month, Caleb hadn't been home for more than 2 days, and that was my tipping point. I broke down in front of him, asking why he never spent time with me anymore. "Seriously, Alex? You're being so dramatic," he said, annoyed. "I'm not being dramatic, I'm just expressing my feelings," I said, hurt. "Well, you're being selfish. I'm working hard for a better life for us," he shot back. "I never asked for any of that. All I want is time with you, the simple things we used to do," I pleaded. "Right, because sitting on the couch watching junk TV is so fulfilling. Stop being ungrateful," he snapped. "You're calling me ungrateful? I appreciate your hard work, but it's tearing us apart," I said, my voice shaking. "If I waited for you to tell me what to do, I'd be stuck doing nothing in life," he retorted. "Do you really think I'm holding you back?" I asked, shocked. "You settle for less, you're happy with the bare minimum." "I'm not like that. I want more from life," he said, his frustration clear. "I'm not settling. I'm content with what we have because it's enough for me," I tried to explain. "And that's your problem. You're too lazy to chase after better things," he said harshly. "I'm not greedy, Caleb. I value what's important over constantly working myself to the bone," I replied, tears filling my eyes. "You just don't get it, do you?" he said, storming out of the house, leaving me standing there, overwhelmed by a flood of emotions. How could Caleb treat me this way? How could he look at me with such disappointment when he used to see me as the light of his life? I let it be for a while, trying to process everything. Eventually, Caleb's business trips became so frequent that he barely lived with me anymore. My hurt numbed me entirely. I stopped talking to everyone as I sank deeper into depression. What pulled me out of my depression was a call from an unknown number. At first, I ignored the calls, but they were so persistent that I finally answered. I cautiously said, "Hello." "Hello, Alex, it's me, Tori," the voice on the other end said. "Tori? Oh my goodness, it's really you. How have you been? How come the new number?" I asked, surprised but thrilled. "I know, it's been too long. I lost my phone and had to get a new one. Plus, it helped that I lost it right around the time I graduated high school. I'm so sorry I haven't kept in touch. Life got busy, and I let time slip away," she explained. "Don't worry, I've been swamped too. Even keeping up with my own mom was tough. So, how come the sudden call?" I asked, curious. "I picked a university in Florida, Alex. I'm actually in Florida now," she said. "No way, that's amazing. I'm so happy you're close by. We have to meet," I said excitedly. "I was hoping you'd say that. I've missed you so much." "Can we really meet up?" she asked. "Of course. Let's make plans. I can't wait to see you again," I replied, smiling. "Me too. It's going to be awesome catching up," she said. We set a date for that weekend. I thought it was the perfect time because Caleb would be home that weekend, and I was eager to see Tori again after all this time. I realized that Tori's university was only an hour's drive from where I lived, so we could meet up more often. That night, I called Caleb to share the news, but he didn't seem to care. I got upset and asked, "Why aren't you excited about meeting Tori? After all this time, I've realized I'm never really a priority for you. You kept me hidden from someone so important to you with some silly excuse." Caleb responded, "That's not true. I don't think my feelings about this are silly. Can't we just forget about it for now? I still want you both to meet." "It doesn't matter now," I said, "but could you at least be nice when Tori's here? I don't want her to see our problems." "Oh, so now you care about appearances. When will you be honest with her?" Caleb shot back. "It's not about that. I just want her to see the good parts of us." "Good parts, huh? Doesn't seem like there's much of that left these days," Caleb said, walking away. I couldn't understand why Caleb was being so difficult. I wasn't asking for anything unreasonable. I would have said the same thing if any other family member was visiting. I decided not to think about it too much because it only made me feel worse. When the weekend arrived, I greeted Tori with a big hug and teared up seeing how much she'd grown. We had 2 hours alone before Caleb came back from his trip, and during that time, we caught up on everything we'd missed. We laughed and cried together as we remembered the past. When Caleb finally came home, he went to freshen up in the bedroom. When he came back to the living room, he kissed me and then introduced himself to Tori. Tori looked confused as she shook his hand. "How have you been, Tori?" Caleb asked. "I've been all right," Tori replied. "Well, that's good to hear. I've always wanted to meet you. Alex talks about you all the time, but she never let me meet you before." "Yeah, I've been meaning to see you too. I'm glad we finally got the chance." "What university are you attending?" Caleb asked. "I'm going to New College of Florida." "Oh really? Sorry, but you look familiar." "I can't figure out where I might have seen you before," Caleb said. Tori hesitated. "I'm not sure. You just look familiar." I noticed Caleb looked panicked. He was sweating and trembling. I asked him if everything was okay, but before he could answer, Tori gasped and pulled out her phone. I looked at both of them, confused, wondering what was going on. I asked Tori and Caleb to explain what was happening. Caleb didn't say anything and tried to leave, but Tori stopped him, saying he wasn't going anywhere. I looked at Tori, confused, as she showed me her phone and asked me to look at the photos on it. In the photos, I saw text messages between two people who seemed like a couple. I was puzzled and asked Tori what this was about. Tori explained that she had made a friend at university. When they went to a party, her friend mentioned she was dating an older man named Caleb. Tori showed me several pictures of this man, and I realized that it was Caleb. I asked Caleb if this was true. He tried to deny it and said, "Are you really going to believe a young girl over your husband? You're just avoiding the truth." Tori responded, "There's proof from texts with my friend, but the messages only have a contact name, not a number, so it's hard to confirm it's him." She then showed me more pictures of Caleb on dates with her friend. My heart broke with each photo. I couldn't understand why Caleb would do this. We had been going through a rough patch, but I had hoped we could work things out. I turned to Caleb with tears in my eyes and asked him how long he had been having the affair. Caleb looked away and didn't answer. Tori, clearly disgusted, said she knew it had been going on for 2 years. My heart shattered. I wondered if Caleb's long work hours were really just an excuse to be with someone else. Then another thought struck me and I felt sick just thinking about it, but I had to ask for my own peace of mind. I asked Tori how old her friend was. Tori replied with disgust that her friend was the same age as her. I couldn't bear to look at Caleb anymore. Not only had he been cheating, but he had been doing it with someone so young. I packed up Caleb's things and threw them at him, telling him to leave. He didn't even try to argue. Once he was gone, I ran to the bathroom and threw up, overwhelmed by the disgust of his actions. I cried for a long time, and Tori stayed by my side, comforting me. She spent the week with me as I took the necessary steps to move forward. I quickly filed for divorce and found a lawyer to report Caleb for his crime of dating and sleeping with a minor. Caleb tried to fight back, but the court sided with me. I got most of our assets, and Caleb was found guilty. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison and ordered to pay a $110,000 fine. I felt a sense of justice and relief. After all the pain I had endured, it was finally over. I was deeply disgusted to have been with a man capable of such terrible actions, but I was glad he was held accountable. I found some comfort knowing that Caleb would always be a registered sex offender and that his life would be greatly affected by his actions. It took me another 2 years to fully heal, but I grew stronger from the experience. I moved back to my home state and spent time recovering with my close friends and family. In the end, it was my family who supported me and helped me find joy again. I share my story to remind you that no matter how difficult things get, there is always hope. I'm still healing, but I'm no longer haunted by Caleb's betrayal. Thank you for listening. Hi everyone, I'm Lily, and I'm really excited to share some wonderful news with you all. I've recently become a mom. My husband James and I are overjoyed to welcome our adorable baby boy into our lives. We've also chosen a name for him, which makes this new chapter even more special. This part of my life feels like pure magic. We're loving every moment with our precious baby. The love and happiness that come with being a parent are beyond anything I could have imagined, but not everything has been perfect. Just a few days ago, something happened that I can't forget. Before I tell you about that day, let's go back to when James and I first started dating. There was a family gathering at James' home. Hey Lily, it's my mom's and dad's wedding anniversary today. You have to come with me. Are you sure? You know your mom doesn't really like me, right? That's exactly why I want you to come. When she sees how kind and lovely you are, she'll start to like you. Are you sure? Yes, even my dad told me to bring you. Okay, if you think everything will be fine, then I'll come. That's my girl. That evening, I went to their house with James. Everything was so beautiful. I saw his mom, Scarlett, and his dad, William. I walked over to wish them a happy anniversary. Scarlett, William, happy anniversary. Oh, thank you, dear, you look gorgeous. Oh, look who decided to grace us with her presence. Good evening, Scarlett. I hope you've been well. Well enough, I suppose. You're still dating my son, huh? Mom, please. Yes, we are. James means a lot to me. Oh, I bet. You know, I've been thinking, dear, are you really the right fit for our family? You don't seem like the type who belongs here. I don't understand why you would say that. I care for James deeply and want to be a part of his life. Mom, stop it. That's not fair to Lily. Fair? What do you even know about fairness? You're just a child, still learning about the world. I may not know everything, but my feelings for James are real. I love him, and I thought you would be happy for us. Love? Don't make me laugh. You'll see, this won't last. You're not what we had in mind for our family. I was heartbroken and walked away from the gathering, trying to hold back my tears. Her words were so hurtful. Lily, I'm so sorry. I had no idea she would say such things. I thought she might accept us by now. I'm not sure what to do, but I promise I'll talk to her and make things right. Please don't let this ruin what we have. I don't want to lose you because of this, James, but it hurts so much to know that she doesn't like me. You won't lose me. I love you, and I won't let anyone come between us. Not even my mom. Okay, I trust you. Let's face this together. We decided to tackle every challenge as a team, always working on our relationship and careers. James' dad, William, was very supportive. He understood our feelings and was always there for James. He even helped convince Scarlett to attend our wedding. William seemed to be the only person who could calm Scarlett down. Eventually, we got married and started a beautiful life together. James and I chose to live in a different city, far from his home, to protect our relationship from Scarlett's negativity. However, Scarlett never missed an opportunity to criticize me, whether it was during family trips or gatherings. Despite this, I remained hopeful that things would change, finding comfort in having my husband by my side. One day, James and I were having coffee together. Hey, sweetheart, shall we go on a small trip somewhere? We didn't get to go on a honeymoon because my mom was sick. I feel bad that we haven't spent much time together. It's okay, I'm not a kid. I understand. I know that my mom interferes a lot, and I want to take you away from all that. Let's plan a trip and enjoy some quiet time together. Okay, then let's plan a trip. As James and I excitedly made plans for our long-awaited trip, we hoped for some much-needed time alone, away from Scarlett's constant interference. But just as we were finalizing our arrangements, Scarlett once again managed to involve herself in our lives. James, Lily, are you home? It's my mom. I'll go talk to her. All right, I'll wait here. James opened the door to find Scarlett standing there with a worried expression. James, I heard you're planning a trip. Is everything okay? Mom, I hope Lily isn't forcing you into this trip, Scarlett said, worried. No, Mom, it was my idea, James reassured her. We just want some time together. We didn't even get a proper honeymoon, and we feel it's important for our relationship. But you know I've been feeling unwell lately. What if something happens and you're not around? Scarlett asked. Mom, we'll only be gone for a few days, and we'll stay connected through calls. Plus, Dad will be here to take care of you, James explained. I suppose if you think it's necessary, Scarlett reluctantly agreed. Despite Scarlett's concerns, James and I went ahead with our plans. We booked our trip and told William about it. Understanding how much this time together meant to us, William promised to take care of everything while we were away. Our time on the beach was beautiful. Even though we had been dating for a long time, spending time together as a married couple felt entirely different. We even tried surfing, which was a new adventure for us. After a fun day, we returned to our room. Wasn't that fun? James asked. too much fun. I'm having such a great time, I replied. Me too, love. So, what do you want to eat today? Chinese or Italian? James asked. Actually, I'm feeling a little strange in my stomach. I'll just have some soup, I said, suddenly not feeling well. What happened? Are you okay? James asked, concerned. Yes, I think surfing was just too much for me. It was my first time, I explained. Oh, maybe that's it. Don't worry, it'll be fine. I'll order some food, James said, trying to comfort me. Even after having soup, I still didn't feel well. The next morning, I woke up feeling nauseous, and James took good care of me all day. Over the next few days, I noticed some other changes in my body, and I had a feeling I might be pregnant. Nervously, I took a pregnancy test, and James stood by my side, offering constant support. The test was positive. We were going to be parents. We were so excited and hugged each other tightly, feeling incredibly blessed. I can't believe this, James exclaimed. Yes, James, we're going to have a baby, I replied, full of joy. We decided to keep the news to ourselves for a little while. Over the next few weeks, we visited the doctor, who confirmed that we were indeed expecting our first child. It was time to share our incredible news with James's family. One evening, we invited Scarlett and William over to our place. As we sat together in the living room, the atmosphere was filled with excitement and nervousness. James took a deep breath and began to share the news. Mom, Dad, there's something wonderful we want to share with you. Lily and I are going to have a baby, James announced. A baby? Are you serious? Scarlett reacted with surprise. Why are you so surprised, Scarlett? I'm so happy for both of you. Congratulations, James and Lily, William said, smiling. Thank you. We just found out, and we couldn't be happier, I added. Well, this is quite unexpected, Scarlett said. Are you sure it's James's child? Scarlett. Why would you even think that? James asked, shocked. It's just that suddenly you're pregnant right after getting married. It's hard not to wonder, Scarlett explained. Mom, Lily and I love each other. We've been together for years, and this baby is a blessing for both of us, James said, defending me. I'm not trying to be judgmental, but it wouldn't hurt to be sure. Maybe you should consider a DNA test just to be certain, Scarlett suggested. James, I can't believe your mom thinks I cheated on you. I thought she'd be happy for us, I said, feeling hurt. Mom, we trust each other completely. There's no need for a DNA test. Lily has been faithful, and I have no doubts about our love or our child, James insisted. Scarlett, this is too much. This is a happy moment for James and Lily, so please stop ruining it. It's late, let's go home, William said, trying to calm things down. I was just concerned about my son, Scarlett muttered. Mom, you don't have to worry. We are happy, James reassured her. After dinner, William and Scarlett went home, but they left a lingering feeling of sadness behind. I couldn't help but worry if James might start doubting me like Scarlett did. Later that night, James came into the room, and I was still awake. Hey, still awake? He asked. Yeah, I can't seem to sleep, I admitted. Lily, it's okay. If you're worried about what Mom said, forget it. You know me, right? I trust you more than anyone in the world, James said, comforting me. Thank you, James. I've been feeling really sad since the evening, but your words have helped me calm down, I replied, feeling a bit better. I'm grateful that our love is stronger than any misunderstanding, I said to James. It truly is, he replied. Now try to get some sleep. You need to take good care of yourself. As my pregnancy progressed, James became even more attentive and caring. He made sure I had everything I needed, attended doctor's appointments with me, and helped me prepare for the baby's arrival. Together, we created a warm and loving environment for our baby. One day, as we sat in the nursery surrounded by baby clothes and toys, James took my hand and smiled. Lily, I can't wait to meet our baby. You're going to be an amazing mom, and I'll be right there with you every step of the way. As the baby's delivery date approached, Scarlett seemed more determined to create a rift between James and me. She tried various tactics to separate us, but our love for each other only grew stronger. One day, while James and I were preparing the nursery, Scarlett and William dropped by unannounced. Scarlett had a stern expression as she looked around the room. So this is where you'll raise my grandchild? We've put a lot of thought and effort into creating a loving and safe space for our baby, I explained. Well, I hope you're prepared for the challenges that come with being parents. It's not as easy as you think, Scarlett warned. We understand, Scarlett. We're committed to supporting and caring for our child together, James said. We'll see how long that lasts. I've seen many young couples like you who think they can handle it, but reality sets in eventually, she added. Now, Scarlett, let's not be so negative. James and Lily are mature adults, and I believe they'll make wonderful parents. We should be supportive of them, William said. Despite Scarlett's attempts to sow doubts, James and I remained steadfast in our love and commitment to each other and our unborn baby. We attended parenting classes, read books on raising children, and sought advice from experienced parents. We were determined to face the challenges together as a team. Scarlett made snide remarks about my abilities as a mother and questioned James's decision to start a family so soon, but we didn't let her words get to us. Instead, we leaned on William for support and guidance. On the day of the delivery, Scarlett visited the hospital, but her attitude remained distant. As I labored in the delivery room, James held my hand, providing strength and support. After some time, I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. James and I were overjoyed. "Oh my God, I can't believe we are already parents," James said. "The baby has your beautiful eyes and your nose." We looked at each other with so much love, imagining a beautiful future for our baby. "Shall I call Mom and Dad?" James asked. "Yeah, sure. They will be so happy to meet their grandchild," I replied. James brought William and Scarlett into the room. William held the baby and was overwhelmed with joy. "This is how I held you for the first time, James. He is so cute. Congratulations, Lily and James." James and William hugged, and then James handed the baby to Scarlett. She looked at the baby and then said, "This is not my son's child. I told you, James, Lily is cheating on you." I froze, processing what Scarlett had just said. A minute ago we were so happy, and she shattered it in a second. "Mom, enough is enough. If you don't want to share our happiness, at least try not to spoil it. I've been telling you since the beginning, your doubts are baseless and hurtful," James said firmly. "Scarlett, how could you say something like that? We were so happy, and you just ruined this precious moment for us," I added, feeling devastated. "Scarlett, this is not the time or place for such accusations. Lily and James just became parents, and we should be celebrating this joyous occasion," William said, trying to calm the situation. "You keep quiet, William. There is still time, James. Do the DNA test and throw this girl out of your house," Scarlett demanded. "Enough. That is not how you should behave. Lily is your daughter-in-law, and she deserves respect, especially during such a special moment. This is our grandchild, and we should be supporting them, not causing more trouble," William shouted at her for the first time in years. William had never been this angry before. He firmly grabbed Scarlett's hand and pulled her out of the labor room. "What were you doing inside?" he demanded. "Leave my hand first," Scarlett retorted. "I'm just saying what is right." "Right? Oh, so you know what is right?" William shot back. "Do you even remember what you've done in the past? You have no right to blame others. Dare you to bring that up again? This is about my son." "Why not?" William continued, his voice filled with hurt. "You still haven't realized your mistakes. Let me remind you. When I was constantly struggling after our marriage, all I could do was feel neglected, and you shamelessly cheated on me with my best friend." "There's no need to bring that up again," Scarlett replied, her voice trembling. "Why not? You still don't care about the consequences of your actions. When I discovered the truth, I was devastated. It was a difficult time for me as I confronted the painful reality of your betrayal. The trust we had was shattered. At least don't break the trust between James and Lily." Scarlett's face fell. She was silent, her head bowed. William's words had cut deep. Despite the immense hurt and anger, I decided to give our marriage another chance. I believed in forgiveness and thought you would change, learn from your mistakes. I think that was my biggest fault. You haven't changed a bit. You're still selfish and jealous. Lily has supported James through everything, but you can't stand to see them happy together. Don't you understand? Scarlett cried out. "She's stealing my son. Can't you see how much James listens to Lily? He's even started talking back to me. It's not because of Lily, it's because of you," William said, his voice full of frustration. take a good look at yourself. Lily is the most pure-hearted girl, always trying to keep the peace. But you're the troublemaker. Enough. Scarlett started crying, realizing the mistakes she had made in the past. Scarlett, I don't want to see you in pain, William said, softening his tone. But you need to understand that James is an adult now. He has his own life, and Lily is a crucial part of it. She loves him dearly, and he loves her back. We should be happy for them and support their happiness. I know, William, I'm sorry for my behavior. I don't want to lose James. He's my only son, and I'm scared I'll be left all alone. You won't be left alone, Scarlett. We're a family, and I'll always be here for you. But you need to respect James's choices and let him live his life. Okay, Scarlett whispered, wiping her tears. Let's go inside. I want to apologize to them. When they returned, Scarlett was still crying. I'm sorry, Lily. I've made a huge mistake. I'll never do this again. I was just so scared of losing my son that I didn't realize I was being selfish. Honestly, I was furious at Scarlett, but seeing her cry melted my heart. I could see that all she did was out of love for her son, and as a mother myself, I decided to forgive her. It's okay, Scarlett, I said. I understand. Let's forget about the past and start a new journey. Thank you so much, Scarlett replied, her voice choked with emotion. You've done me the biggest favor. Can I see the baby? Of course. Look at your grandson. He's eager to meet his grandma. Scarlett smiled and reached out to take the baby, but James shouted from behind, Do not touch our baby. What's the problem, James? Are you mad at me? I've apologized to Lily and realized my mistake. She's right, James, I added. She realized her mistake. Let your mom see her grandchild. Mom. James's voice was cold. I'm ashamed to call her that. What are you talking about? Scarlett asked, her voice trembling. I've heard everything. The conversation between you and Dad, James replied. Scarlett's face turned pale as she realized James had overheard their argument. William was equally shocked. The truth they had kept hidden for years was now out in the open, and that too in front of James. James, it's not what you think. I regret my mistakes. Your dad and I have moved past them, Scarlett tried to explain. Dad's heart is big. He forgave you even after you caused him so much pain. But I can't do that. At first, I thought you were just insecure about Lily, but I was wrong. You're selfish and manipulative. This woman cannot be my mom. James, I know this is a lot to take in, but please try to understand that we all make mistakes. William said gently, Your mom deeply regrets what she did, and we've worked hard to rebuild our relationship. Dad, I love you, and I respect your decision to forgive her. But what she did didn't just hurt you. It hurt our family too. I need time to process everything. James, I can't change the past, but I promise you I've changed. I'm not the person I used to be. I've learned from my mistakes, and I want to be a better person, a better mom. I need some space, James said, his voice thick with emotion. I need to figure things out on my own. Okay, I understand, Scarlett replied, her voice breaking. Just know that I love you and I always will. James walked away, leaving Scarlett and William with heavy hearts. It was a difficult moment for them, realizing the impact of their past actions on their son. Scarlett understood that rebuilding trust and repairing her relationship with James would take time and patience. In the days that followed, James kept his distance from Scarlett, and he never referred to her as Mom again. It was a painful adjustment for everyone, but Scarlett respected his need for space. Despite the difficult situation, James and I focused on our new family, with unwavering love and commitment. We immersed ourselves in parenthood, cherishing every moment with our precious baby. His birth brought us even closer, and now we're embracing the joys and challenges of raising our little one as a team. Hi everyone, I'm Daniela, and today I'm going to share my own story about my mother-in-law. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with my awful mother-in-law, Lily, for long. My husband Ian kicked her out early in our marriage, and here's why. I met Ian in college since we were studying the same subject. He was very shy and didn't talk to many people, but we bonded over our love for music and started dating quickly. We fell in love fast. Ian was an amazing person, but he had a troubling past. His dad died when he was 12, and his mom quickly remarried. Sadly, his new stepfather was very abusive. I won't go into details because it's sensitive, but it was bad enough for Ian to get a restraining order against him when he turned 18. When Ian told me his story, I wondered why his mom didn't protect him. I asked Ian, "Why didn't your mom do anything when her husband was hurting you? Didn't she know?" "She knew everything, Daniela," Ian replied. "But she didn't want to leave him because she loved him. I begged her to help, but she just told me to get over it. She even yelled at me when I got the restraining order." "That's terrible, Ian. She should have protected you. Why do you still talk to her?" "I barely talk to her," Ian said. "I told her I'd support her if she left her husband, but until then, I keep my distance." I admired Ian even more after hearing his story. He worked hard to support himself through college, since there was no college fund for him. He was a great student and got a good job right after graduation. I also had a good job, so we got engaged early, but it took a long time to get married because of Lily. After Ian got his job, Lily suddenly decided to leave her husband, claiming it was because of Ian. She manipulated him into taking care of her financially. I warned Ian that his mom was playing with his emotions. "Ian, I don't like how your mom is handling this. She's making it seem like it's all your fault." "What can I do, Daniela? It's true that she had to leave him because of me. Now that she's choosing me, it's my duty to look after her. I understand you want to care for your mom, but she's trying to control you emotionally," I told him. But it was hard to make Ian see that his mom wasn't really choosing him. She just knew he could support her now. There was another problem with Lily. She hated me. She would say things like, "Just because Ian's marrying you doesn't mean you'll have him all to yourself. He's my son first and your husband later." I replied, "It's funny you say that, Lily. I don't remember you ever putting your son first, and I don't mind if he looks after you. We're both his family. Don't try to be clever, Daniela. I can throw you out of Ian's life if I want to. I know you make less money than him, so it's clear you're marrying my son for money," she said. "I'll prove it to him and make him leave you. Then I'll have all his attention and money, and you won't get anything," Lily threatened. I knew she wasn't going to be a good mother-in-law. She wasn't even a good mom. But her twisted thinking really shocked me. It was clear she didn't want Ian to spend money on anyone but her. Ian was already giving her a lot, so I didn't understand why she wanted more. That would become important later. Fast forward a year, and Ian and I finally got married. I was so happy to marry the man of my dreams. We were all set to move into the house I had inherited from my parents, but my joy only lasted a week. Just a week after we moved in, Lily showed up with all her stuff. She walked in like she owned the place and started choosing a room. I watched in confusion and asked, "What are you doing, Lily? Why did you bring all your things?" "Are you dumb or something, Daniela? This is my son's house now, so I'll be staying here too," she replied. "What are you talking about? You can't just walk in and demand to live here." "Listen to me, you little," she snapped. "This is my son's place, and I know he pays most of the bills, so I have every right to live here too. I warned you that I could kick you out of my son's life if I wanted to. This is just the beginning, Daniela. If you think you can throw me out, I'd like to see you try." I was stunned by Lily's nerve. I couldn't believe how confident she was. I decided to talk to Ian about it since I wasn't going to entertain Lily's outrageous demands. To my surprise, Ian already knew she was moving in. He begged me to let her stay until he figured out what to do. He didn't want his mom on the street and reminded me of his duty to her. I was really angry, but I gave him time to sort things out. Nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. Just a week after Lily moved in, I saw her invite someone over. From their conversation, I realized this woman was an interior designer. I didn't stop them because I had already had several fights with Lily and knew how nasty she could get. So I decided to deal with the problem if it actually became one. The next day, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered, not thinking much of it, and was surprised to find out it was the interior designer who had come to my house. She asked to meet me at a cafe because she had something important to tell me. I was alarmed and immediately set up a meeting. I had no idea how much my life was about to change. When I met with Sylvia, she said, "Hi, I'm Sylvia. You've probably seen me around before." "Hello, Sylvia. Yes, I've seen you. I guess my mother-in-law hired you for something. She mentioned you're an interior designer," I replied. Yes, I am, Sylvia confirmed. But some of the things your mother-in-law asked for didn't seem right, so I thought you should know. Oh? What's the issue, Sylvia? I asked, a bit concerned. Actually, I didn't even know why Lily called you. This house is mine, and she's just staying here for a while. I was getting a little suspicious when she brought you over. Sylvia looked shocked. Oh my God, this house is yours. Then you need to know something right away. It's a good thing I came to you. Your mother-in-law is trying to install cameras in your room. She wants to spy on you and your husband. I was shocked and disgusted by what Lily was planning. The idea that she wanted to invade our privacy like that was horrifying. Wow, just when I thought things couldn't get worse, she does this. Does she know that what she's trying to do is illegal? I asked. Yes, she knows. I made sure she understood that, and I tried to convince her not to do it, but she threatened to hire someone else. I was worried about your safety, so I came to tell you, Sylvia explained. Thank you so much for telling me, Sylvia. I'll always be grateful to you. Who knows what would have happened if you hadn't warned me? This is insane. I can't believe she would do something so horrible and illegal. But before I turned Lily down, I wanted to make sure you knew about this, Sylvia said. You did me a huge favor, Sylvia, I replied. And you know what? I'm going to hire you instead. I've realized we do need some cameras in the house, and I'm hoping you can help me set them up. Plus, I'd like to remodel my office as well. Sylvia was excited by the idea, so we made a plan. I had already started to suspect something was off with Lily as soon as she moved in. Yan and I had been away from the house for long periods, and I noticed someone else had been in the house besides Lily. I even found some strange clothes in the dryer that didn't belong to us. That's why I decided to install cameras in the house, especially near Lily's room. I wasn't going to put them in her room because that would be wrong and illegal. Sylvia and I carried out our plan perfectly. She didn't reject Lily's request but promised to bring the best cameras. In the meantime, Sylvia secretly set up cameras in our house while Lily was out shopping. Sylvia is a pro and hid the cameras well. Afterward, I told Ian about the cameras. Ian, I need to tell you something. I've installed some cameras in the house, I said. What? Why? Is something going on? Ian asked, surprised. Yes, Ian. Do you remember the weird clothes I found in the dryer? There's been other strange stuff happening. I think someone else is staying in our house. Oh my God, that's insane, Ian exclaimed. Yes, and all the signs point to your mother. Look, I know you trust her, but you need to wake up. She's not who you think she is, I said. Ian started to defend Lily and got mad at me, but I reminded him of her awful behavior, which quickly shut him up. We talked about a lot of things, but I didn't mention what Lily tried to do with Sylvia. I wanted Ian to realize on his own that something suspicious was happening. Once he agreed with me about the cameras, I could see my plan coming together. I also made sure Ian understood that we couldn't tell Lily about the cameras yet. He agreed and promised not to say anything. The next day, Ian and I went to work as usual. We both had direct access to the cameras in the house, but we were busy all day and didn't have time to check the footage. However, when we got home, we sat down together and watched what had happened throughout the day. You wouldn't believe what we found. Lily was having Ian's abusive stepfather over when we weren't home. This awful man was using our resources and staying with Lily, even though we had a restraining order against him. Ian was horrified by what Lily had done. He was furious and ready to take drastic action. I had never seen Ian so angry before. Before I could ask what to do, he yelled for Lily to come into our room. When she saw us watching the CCTV footage, she turned pale. Ian, what's going on? Why did you call me? Lily asked, clearly nervous. Mom, why did you bring that abuser into our house? Who gave you permission? Ian demanded. What are you talking about, Ian? You must be mistaken. I don't talk to your stepfather anymore. Remember, you made me choose, and I chose you, Lily replied, trying to deflect. Yes, you chose me, and I've supported you financially and even convinced Daniela to let you stay here. And this is how you repay me? Who did you really choose, Mom? Ian pressed. Lily's defense crumbled as Ian played the footage of her bringing his stepfather into the house. She turned pale and started sweating, realizing she was caught. How dare you invade my privacy and record me? You can't do this to me. Lily shouted, trying to regain control. Oh really? Is setting up a camera in my room to spy on me right? I retorted. If you can do that, why can't I put cameras in my own house? What are you talking about, Daniela? Ian asked, shocked. Mom tried to put cameras in our room, I explained. She even hired an interior designer for it, but the designer was honest and told me everything. Ian was furious. He felt the betrayal deeply and confronted Lily. She tried to justify her actions, claiming she was trying to protect Ian from me, but it was clear she was lying. How dare you accuse Daniela like that? Ian exploded. You're the one who betrayed me, used my money, and supported the man who abused me. No more lies, Mom. Get out of my house. I never want to see you again. Lily begged and cried, clinging to Ian's legs, but he was resolute. He packed her bags and threw them outside, telling her to leave. When she refused, Ian threatened to call the cops, and she finally left. That night, I comforted Ian as he dealt with the trauma of his mother's betrayal. The next day, we reported his stepfather to the police for breaking the restraining order and had all the locks in our house changed, thanks to Sylvia's help. Lily kept calling, begging for forgiveness, but we blocked her. She had no money and nowhere to go after her husband was arrested. She tried showing up at our house multiple times, but we always threatened to call the police. Eventually, Lily left town, and we haven't heard from her since. Ian went back to therapy to deal with his trauma, and we also attended couples counseling to improve our communication and work on the issues that Lily had caused in our marriage. Now we're doing much better and living a good life, while Lily is somewhere else, hopefully learning her lesson. Hi everyone, I'm Maxine and I'm 30 years old. This post is about my very annoying mother-in-law, Kayla, and how I got back at her. I grew up in a modest family. My mom raised me mostly on her own because my dad was always working. He had a low-paying job and worked hard just to make ends meet. From a young age, I was great at school, which helped me earn a full scholarship to college. I left home, rented an apartment near campus, and shared it with 4 other girls. I worked part-time at a cafe to cover rent and basic needs. I was determined to get a good job after graduation. I wasn't very attractive, so I didn't get much attention from boys, and I wasn't looking for love. But then Fred came into my life and changed everything. One day, I was working at the cafe when I was asked to take Fred's order. "Good evening, sir. May I take your order?" I asked. "No, but you can take my number," he replied. "Yeah, no thanks," I said. "At least give me a chance, Ginger girl," he said. "First of all, sir, my name is Maxine, not Ginger. If that was a joke, it didn't work. Now, may I take your order?" I asked. "1 coffee, please," he said, and then added, "Oh, Maxine, can you draw a little heart on it?" I couldn't help but blush at Fred's comment, though I kept a straight face while serving him. The next day he was back, and soon he became a regular at the cafe, always insisting I serve him. My coworkers joked that he was my boyfriend, even though I denied it over and over. One day, after a lot of teasing from my coworkers, Fred came in and I was already annoyed. I wanted to prove to them that Fred wasn't my boyfriend, so I went to his table, looking angry, and asked, "What do you want?" "The usual," he said. "No, I mean, what's the deal with you always asking me to serve you and drawing hearts? What's going on?" I demanded. "I want dinner," he said. "We don't start serving until 8, I replied. "No, Ginger, I mean with you," he said, and the rest is history. The nickname Ginger stuck, and so did Fred. I said yes to that dinner, and things fell into place. We started dating and moved in together. I found out that Fred's dad is a millionaire, and Fred is his only son. He wanted to introduce me to his parents, but I asked him to wait until I had a job. After graduating, I got a job as a sales manager and quickly made a name for myself. I was earning well and felt confident about meeting Fred's parents. When I told Fred I was ready, he warned me that his mom was very protective and not to take anything she said to heart. I thought I could handle it, but I had no idea how toxic Kayla would be. One Sunday morning, we went to meet Fred's parents. We drove up to their huge mansion, which would have amazed little Maxine. It was like a princess fantasy from my childhood. I felt nervous as we walked through the grand hall to the dining room, where Fred's parents were waiting. Kayla and George were sipping wine when we sat down. George poured me some wine before I could decline, and then the conversation took a turn for the worse. "So my dear, what was your name again?" Kayla asked. "Maxine, ma'am, but you can call me Max," I replied. "Yes, sorry, Maxine. I can hardly remember the names of all the girls my son brings home. You wouldn't believe how many gold diggers are out there throwing themselves at my son," she said. "I believe that might be true, ma'am, but I'm not one of them," I said. "Well, you wouldn't admit it even if you were," she replied. "Mom, that's enough," Fred interrupted. "What is enough? I don't think I've said anything wrong," she said. "Mom, you're insulting me. I'm no gold digger," I said. "I'm one of the top executives at one of the best companies in the country," Kayla said. "So you think you're just a corporate worker who recently got money and my son is your backup plan if your career doesn't work out?" "Mom, I've had enough," Fred said. "I need to talk to you alone." Kayla looked offended and left the room, followed by Fred. George, who had been quiet until then, said to me, "I think you're a smart girl, Maxine. I want you to be part of our family. Don't mind my wife, she's just very protective of Fred." I tried to smile, but I was eager to find out what Fred and Kayla were talking about, so I excused myself and stood behind a door where I could hear them but they couldn't see me. "Mom, you need to be nice to Maxine. She has no interest in my money," Fred said. "You think you know better than me," Kayla replied. "I've seen many gold diggers. Just because she used to be poor doesn't mean she is now. When you met Dad, he was a billionaire. Would you have liked it if people judged you the way you're judging Maxine? Fred, don't you dare compare your marriage to your father's with your short relationship with some random girl who was poor. If you can't respect me, then you and that girl need to leave my house right now." "She's not just a fling, and yes, we are leaving," Fred said. I heard angry footsteps coming my way, so I quickly went back to the table and pretended to drink my wine. Soon, Fred came in and told me to get my coat because we were leaving. He said we could get food on the way home. I didn't say anything, just nodded. I was on the verge of tears. The drive home was very quiet. Fred was deep in thought, and I was sniffling. I felt hopeless. I'm usually optimistic, but this situation was too much. I didn't know if Fred would have to choose between me and his family, and I really wanted his mom to like me. We stopped for pizza on the way home and had an early dinner. Afterward, I asked Fred if we should stop seeing each other. Fred looked shocked and took my hands, saying, "Maxine, nothing can stop me from seeing you, not even my mom. You can't get rid of me now. This is meant to last." I felt like a little girl who had just received a wonderful gift. Fred was incredibly sweet, and I think he worried I might leave him because of his mom. I had no plans to leave, and I hoped that someday I would win Kayla over. I now realize I was naive back then, but I've learned a lot since then. A few months later, Fred proposed, and I said yes. He suggested we elope, and we did. It was an adventurous and romantic experience. Later, Kayla insisted on a formal wedding because she didn't want to lose face with her friends. I insisted on paying half of the wedding costs, even though Fred wanted to cover everything. The wedding was a beautiful event, but as I walked down the aisle, I wished my father could be there. He had passed away a few years earlier. While walking down the aisle, I suddenly saw Kayla in a long white dress. I felt like running away because I knew she was determined to never accept me and would try to ruin our marriage at every chance. But then I saw Fred's smiling face and went through with the wedding. Throughout the ceremony, Kayla did everything she could to make me feel left out. She wanted family photos without me and made sure Fred and I didn't sit together at the reception. She also talked badly about her so-called friends behind their backs, criticizing their appearance and pretending to be nice in front of them. I was shocked at how two-faced she was. She seemed obsessed with everyone's jewelry, dresses, and looks, and tried to outshine everyone, including me, the bride. I was emotionally drained after the wedding and slept for 12 hours straight. Fred was understanding and supportive, but dealing with Kayla after marriage was exhausting. She constantly criticized my appearance, even pointing out my wrinkles and comparing her youthful skin to mine. I dreaded her visits and tried to stay at work longer to avoid her, but she used that against me too, saying I was neglecting Fred for my own selfish reasons. I tried to explain that I worked hard to save money for our future baby, but it didn't help. Kayla always insisted that we spend holidays with them, and during those times she would tell Fred he had chosen a poor wife who depended on him. She would criticize the gifts I gave her and praise the ones Fred chose, even though I picked them out. The year I got pregnant was especially tough. My hormones were already making me emotional, and Kayla never missed a chance to criticize my body. When Fred confronted her, she would lie, pretend she didn't know, and blame it on my hormones. Spending 5 days with my mother-in-law that year felt impossible. I decided it was time for Kayla to realize how wrong she had been to me. I wanted to address this before the baby was born, because I didn't want him growing up seeing his grandma putting down his mother with shallow comments about her appearance. I didn't want him to develop a shallow mindset like hers. So I took matters into my own hands. I started spending more time at the Pearson mansion, putting up with Kayla's jabs as part of my plan for revenge. I pretended it was because I wanted our child to have a strong bond with his grandparents. During this time, George was very kind to me, bringing me fruits and chocolates, and he would often organize parties for the kids on the days I visited. Kayla used these parties as excuses to avoid sitting with me. Kayla would loudly complain about me to her friends, calling me the worst. But whenever any of them went to the bathroom or left early, she would criticize them too. I used this to my advantage. I made a note of their names and the nasty things she said about them. I even recorded some of her comments with a small recorder. I'd also snooped around the mansion, and one day I found myself in her private room. I discovered something interesting while snooping around. Kayla had records of her visits to a famous plastic surgeon. She had had Botox done several times, which explained her youthful appearance. I don't have anything against people who choose plastic surgery, but I was against how Kayla hid her treatments while criticizing others who aged naturally, including me for my wrinkles. I documented everything carefully, preparing for my doomsday moment. That year, I decided to give Kayla a parrot for Christmas, a smart and intelligent bird that could mimic sounds and learn quickly. On Christmas Day, Fred and I took the parrot to the Pearson mansion for the Christmas dinner. Kayla had insisted on having a baby shower for me on Christmas. When we arrived, all of Kayla's friends were already there, and George was nowhere to be found, so Fred went to look for him. It was just me, Kayla, and her friends. They exchanged knowing looks and laughed at some inside joke. They started bringing out their gifts for me and making snide remarks. Kayla and her friends were discussing how I should be a stay-at-home mom and what I should use on my face to prevent wrinkles. Then it was time for me to give Kayla the special gift I had brought. I handed her the parrot, and everyone seemed impressed at first. But then something unexpected happened. The parrot started talking. It repeated Kayla's comments about her friends and made fun of their appearance. It said things like, "Did you see Linda's stomach in that dress? It's ugly, and Jenny's dress is horrible." Kayla tried to catch the bird, but it flew up to a high cupboard and continued repeating her comments. It even said things like, "Kayla gets Botox and is ashamed of aging, and Kayla is a liar and two-faced." Kayla was upset and demanded I take the parrot away, but I told her the parrot was just mimicking what it had heard. I suggested she might want to start seeing the good in others instead. I looked around and everyone was shocked. Their faces were red, and one by one, they grabbed their coats, slammed the door, and left. Kayla sat on the couch with her head in her hands. Then she looked up and said, "You did this. You ruined my image, my reputation, everything. How will this ever be fixed?" I told her, "It's not me who ruined your image. If you can't face people now, that's your own fault. Fix yourself, and things will get better." Kayla yelled back, "Don't lecture me. You're after Fred's money, aren't you? I'll make sure you don't get a penny." The parrot continued to mimic her comments, saying, "Kayla is a gold digger. Kayla is a hypocrite." Fred walked in, saw the commotion, and put the bird back in its cage. Kayla immediately complained, "Fred, your wife did this. Tell her off." Fred asked, "What do you mean, Mom?" Kayla continued, "Maxine brought the bird. You must have forced her. We'll get custody of our grandchild and hire the best lawyers. We'll make sure she loses her job and every penny she has. How dare you make us look bad?" Fred said, "I'm not divorcing her, Mom. The parrot was just mimicking what it heard. It's clear you said those things, and now you see how obnoxious you are to Maxine. It was about time you knew." Kayla was shocked and turned to George, who was looking at the orchids in the garden. She yelled, "George, are you going to stand up for my dignity? Your son has been turned into a puppet by this gingerhead witch. Make sure she loses her job." George replied, "Actually, I can help with that. "Maxine, would you like to join my company's sales department? You can work from home, and we'll pay you more than your current job." Kayla was furious. "What is wrong with all of you? She disrespected me and ruined my reputation." George calmly said, "Maxine gave you a wonderful gift. How you choose to handle it is up to you." George asked, "Do you think we have a strong case against Maxine?" Fred said, "I'm not sure." George then turned to me and said, "So Maxine, what do you think of my offer?" I responded, "I would love to take up your offer, George." Kale looked furious and kept glancing at me, George, and Fred. I had tears in my eyes, but they were tears of happiness. I asked George if I could call him Pops, like I called my own father. He hugged me, and I felt truly blessed. Meanwhile, Kayla packed her bags and threatened to go live with her maternal relatives. Fred told her that if she left, she would miss the birth of her grandchild. Kayla said she didn't care and was better off without us. To her surprise, George didn't try to stop her, and Fred was furious at her for not caring about our baby. Kayla took a cab and left. I gave birth to a healthy baby boy in February, and both George and Fred were thrilled. My mother came from the country to visit and brought homemade cookies and brownies, which George enjoyed immensely. The month was filled with happy memories as we celebrated George Jr.'s arrival. In mid-March, Kayla returned when she realized she couldn't pay her credit card bills. She made a big fuss, claiming she hadn't been informed about the birth of her grandson. Fred reminded her that she had said she didn't care about the baby before she left, so we decided to let her be. Kayla then denied ever saying she didn't care and started to cuddle the baby. George asked Kayla to apologize to me. She acted surprised and said she didn't know what she should apologize for. When George listed the things she had done wrong, Kayla reluctantly mumbled an apology. Honestly, that was more than I expected from her. I accepted Kayla's apology gladly. That night, Fred told me he plans to keep his contact with his mom to a minimum. He didn't want our child to grow up hearing negative things about us or his grandpa from Kayla, and I agreed with his reasoning. I had been worried about this but didn't want to bring it up myself because I didn't want Fred to cut off his mom just because of me. It was a relief when Fred brought it up on his own. Since December, I've been working from home for George's company. I think I've been doing a good job managing the sales department. George says I've done excellent work, but I'm not sure because he tends to hype up little things. Still, the company's sales doubled, and George was very impressed. He asked me when I could start working from the office because there's a promotion waiting for me. I thought George's offer was a joke until I joined him in the conference room. He announced that he wanted to make me a partner in the company. I was overjoyed. We've enrolled our baby boy in preschool, and things are peaceful now that Kayla is only a minor part of our lives. Life is great.